After leaving Chester, we returned to the countryside, which Colin was very happy about. We retraced our steps and travelled back along the Shropshire Union Canal. Final double locks for a while. This is the Bunbury staircase with 2 locks, one after the other. At Barbridge, we turned left onto the Middlewich branch. Back on narrow locks again, so at least the gates aren't as big and heavy. At the end of the Middlewich branch, we turned right onto the Trent and Mersey. Now back on the Trent and Mersey, and it is absolutely peeing it down now. We decided to stop for the rest of the day. The following day was dry and sunny. After an early start this morning, it's time for tea, coffee and toast. It's raining again. Just passing under the M6 again. Finally back to Road Heath. We were booked to go through the Harecastle Tunnel on Wednesday the 18th of February, so we set off the day before. Okay, so this is the first of, I think it's 11 locks today to get us down towards the entrance of Harecastle Tunnel. This section of the Trent and Mersey Canal is sometimes referred to as Heartbreak Hill. Richard had to remove some gubbins from the prop and fix the front fender after it caught on one of the lock gates. Today we go through Harecastle Tunnel. This should be our only lock of the day. And here comes Richard and Badger and Colin. Harecastle Tunnel is one of the longest in the country at 2,528 metres, or about 1.6 miles long. Just seeing here the next boat coming up behind us. There are markers every 100 metres in the tunnel, and we've just passed the 600 metre mark. It's difficult to see, but that is Richard driving the boat. 100 metres in. Okay, that painted line above shows where the top of the tunnel drops down, so the height of the tunnel starts to decrease now for a little while. Richard's got 2 hats on to protect his head. Tunnel's about to get lower again. Tunnel's got higher again now. And we're at the 1300 mark, we're about halfway. That's the middle of the tunnel that we just passed there. 1313 metres. There's a lot of water falling down. It's all strange. It's like seaweed hanging from the ceiling and dripping. 700 metres from the exit. It must be the fans that we can hear. This is getting louder. There's fans in the gate at the front which are drawing fumes in the tunnel. And then when we get close to the gate to open, then we get out. There we go, fans are coming up. Okay, gates are opening.
Morning all.
Morning. Yeah, good, thank you.
Mind your head on the beam on the way out.
Yeah. Made it so far without using anything.
Have a good day.
And you too, thank you.
Cheers.
Yeah,
it's good, thanks.
Good. All through, slightly wetter than when we went in, otherwise fine. It's actually relatively warm in the tunnel. We were warned it was very cold, but it's actually much colder out here today.
Well, that's the wind. There was no wind in there, whereas it's really windy today.
It's the wind, but the temperature's really cold. After stopping at Westport Lake for a couple of days, we headed through Stoke, passing many old bottle kilns from the pottery industry, and we turned on to the Caldon Canal. First locks of the day. It's a 2-lock staircase, this one. That's quite deep. Out of the first lock, straight into the next one. Three lift bridges, 9 locks, and 11 miles later, we reached Endon, where we stopped for a few days. We left the boat for a couple of days here and headed up to Scotland. We met on the 27th of February 2000. Exactly 26 years later, on the 27th of February 2026, we finally got married.
And Richard and Karen, I would like to welcome you and your family here today to Gretna Registration Office, and we're all going to share with you in your wedding ceremony. I, Richard, accept you, Karen.
I, Richard, accept you, Karen.
As my lawful wedded wife.
As my lawful wedded wife. Oh.
Now you, Karen. Sorry. Hang on. Okay. You have an announced one here. Okay. There we go. Thank you. Well, people either laugh or cry. No, both. You're doing both. And may you have a long and rich life together.
We will. She give it to me.
I now pronounce your husband and wife. If you wish, you may now share the gifts.
It was a lovely day with just our two boys, George and Harry, their girlfriends Sophia and Jade's son Jude. George and Sophia gave us a mini hen-stroke stag do the weekend before. And I got to wear my mum's 1957 graduation ball gown. On our return, we had a week's honeymoon on the Caldon Canal. At Hazelhurst Junction, we went right and cruised along the Leek branch, which went across the Hazelhurst Aqueduct and over the main line of the Caldon Canal. That's the tunnel. Leek Tunnel is only 120 metres in length. We spent a couple of nights moored at Leek and visited Ladder Edge Country Park. Then we cruised the 3 miles back to Hazelhurst Junction and did a U-turn onto the main line towards Frogall. This time we went under the Hazelhurst Aqueduct. This is the depth marker for the river Churnet, and it's in the green at the bottom there, which means it's safe to proceed through the loch. We're coming out of this loch and onto the river. Now we're just coming off the river and back onto the canal. And this is Consall station that actually overhangs the canal. Just before the final lock, we turned back as the canal was getting very shallow and we kept grounding, and then we almost got stuck on the way back. You can see the top riding over something. and then there was a weir on the left. We finally got back to deeper waters and moored outside the Black Lion at Consall for a couple of nights. We walked down to Frogall Basin at the end of the canal and checked out the tunnel, which was probably too low for our boat anyway. And then we saw this, the Churnet Valley Railway. It was a gorgeous day, so we had a pub lunch outside the Black Lion and saw the train go past our boat 6 times in one day. With no phone signal, no internet, and steam trains passing through, it was a very surreal day. There we go, we're leaving the land that time forgot. It's absolutely beautiful here. We headed back up the short stretch of river onto the canal again and stopped for our final night outside the Hollybush Inn, where we had a great evening with fellow boaters and some of the locals. Goodbye Hollybush Inn. It's been fun.